Hello friend and welcome back. Today we are talking about another procedure that I've had done. This one is very recent, so you can take a look at these little speckles and little bumps that I have all throughout my cheeks and a little bit on my lips. We're talking about Skinvive. So whenever we talk about prescription products like Skinvive by Juvederm, need to be a little bit more careful about specific verbiage and advertisements and just everything surrounding it. So just bear that in mind during this video. What is Skinvive? Skinvive is hyaluronic acid. It's a sugar molecule that we see everywhere now, right? You can take oral supplements of it for health. You can apply it topically in a variety of serums and moisturizers as a plumping humectant. You can now inject it intradermally, like Skinvive, in the superficial layers of skin, or it can be used in the deeper layers of skin where we see more traditional fillers. Hyaluronic acid fillers have been around for quite some time, any variety of them and many brands, but all of that is hyaluronic acid, which is a sugar molecule that your body naturally produces to keep the moisture in your skin and other tissues regularly on a daily basis. That's just something your body naturally produces and naturally breaks it back down and processes it back out. And so that's just a part of your natural cycle. When it comes to traditional hyaluronic acid fillers that you would use for like lips or cheeks or anywhere that we're doing some sculpting to the face, your body recognizes those hyaluronic acid particles and over time will break them down just like it does your natural hyaluronic acid and process them out in a safe way. And we aren't going to get too into the weeds about newer studies showing maybe hyaluronic acid fillers stick around longer in some tissues than we thought, longer than the label says. That's another bigger discussion for probably a plastic surgeon. But for our purposes, we're talking about Skinvive. It is still hyaluronic acid. Skinvive is designed to be micro droplets injected into these superficial layers, and you can see all through here. I can even feel them still. I just had them injected today, this afternoon, by one of my colleagues who did an excellent job. And they're just little droplets of hyaluronic acid that will over time flatten down and spread out into the tissue and integrate into the tissue so that they can pull more hydration into this area. Now, the FDA approval, very important, for Skinvive was in 2023, just a little bit ago, and it is to improve the skin smoothness of the cheeks in adults over the age of 21. The results are said to last through 6 months with appropriate treatment, and it is safe and effective for all Fitzpatrick skin types. That's the official statement. In the EU, they've had it for a little bit longer than we have in the United States, so they've been able to do more testing, and it is actually indicated not just for cheeks, but for skin, which means you can use it just about anywhere on the body to improve the smoothness and hydration of that skin. Since it's been around for a little bit, there are post-marketing studies, so not the ones you do for approval by the regulatory body, but looking back afterwards and seeing if there was something else that happened. And in this one by the EU, they said, quote, changes in aquaporin were observed after Skinvive treatment. Aquaporins are little proteins that are in between cell membranes that help water and various other substances, glycerol as well, to pass between the outside of the cell and the inside of the cell. That's a very simple version of it. In the retrospective study, what aquaporin 3 showed was it's a glycerol or water transport protein. It showed increased activity, which ultimately means that there is more hydration to the skin cells, which is great. And we love to see that. And that showed even after 6 months post-treatment. Now, there's some other cool retrospective studies and things that they found that they weren't expecting, other than just hydration, that are really awesome. We'll talk about that in the follow-up video when this is actually settled about a month from now, and I can show you the final results that I had, and we'll talk through some of the other nitty-gritty. But for today, what it's going to do is leave your skin glowy, hydrated, refreshed, appears more healthy than prior to the injections. Now that makes sense because hydration in your skin is decreasing over time. After the age of about 25, you start slowing down how much hyaluronic acid you're making. It's just like collagen, it's just like everything else. Your body is losing the battle against the sun and genetics and time. So doing anything to plump up, give you extra hydration, make it easier for your body to call on that hydration is going to make the skin appear and probably act healthier than prior to that. I have seen things like it improves the recovery time after treatments because your skin is just, again, more healthy, able to access water and nutrients better and faster and recover faster. It really does leave a beautiful glow across the cheeks. So anybody who's looking for extra plumpness and glow, this will do an amazing job of that when injected correctly by a trained professional. I love to see the results of Skinvive around the eyes and around the mouth as well, because when it's done correctly, it will help with fine lines like smoker's lines or Starbucks straw lines, whatever you want to call them, around the mouth, and then around the eyes for crow's feet as well. I find that more and more people want to maintain more natural movement, so we are cutting back on the amount of Botox that they're doing, or at least around this area. So I'm finding it really valuable to use Skinvive around here because it plumps things up and helps with fine lines and crepey texture without reducing movement. So that's a big win in my book. Also, directly in the belly of the lip, just a little bit of it, it just helps more plump appearance, help more hydrated appearance, as well as just making your lips more hydrated in general. Because it's a humectant, because it's pulling more moisture, you wind up using less lip balm, things just look smoother and more hydrated, but since it has no structure to it like filler does, it still moves really naturally. You never get an overfilled look. It just plumps and it adds that je ne sais quoi. So stay tuned. It'll be about a month or so before I show final results. We might do a check-in at 2 weeks. If I get the okay from a friend of mine, we might even show off her pictures because they look phenomenal at 2 weeks. But truly, to label, you want to leave it for about a month before you're looking to see the final results of Skinvive. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, be well.